The price of Bitcoin has fallen significantly. Cryptocurrency investors are looking for the safest ways to generate passive income, even as token prices continue to plunge. A new way that doesn't care if Bitcoin rises by 50% or falls by 20% has been discovered. This is the spot futures arbitrage bot. That may seem daunting, but don't be concerned. Welcome to Altcoin Bull, the most popular crypto educational channel on YouTube. I'm going to select Earn and Moderate mode on Pionex because this is the safest way to use these bots. When I click Create, we're all set with our $2,000 investment in this bot. To begin with, I'll put $2,000 into the Bitcoin bot and leave it on 2x leverage. Then I'll click Create and wait for it to be completed. It may take some time to put this together, especially for tiny coins. In addition, I'll create 3 more hostile bots. We'll use AVAX, VET, and Doge in this experiment to spice things up a bit. Nearly $10,000 has been put into the venture. These bots, on the other hand, may generate up to 50% APR with little to no risk. But then, there's the matter of how it works. What exactly are spot futures arbitrage bots? And why haven't they come up with a more appealing name? Let's take it one step at a time. First, there's arbitration. Arbitrage is the technique of profitably purchasing and selling the same asset in several marketplaces. Sam Bankman-Fried, a 29-year-old with a net worth of $22 billion, is an intriguing case in point. Through crypto arbitrage, he made a huge sum of money early on. Thanks to the strong demand of Bitcoin in Korea, he discovered that the price of a single Bitcoin may be up to 50% higher than in the United States. This meant he could purchase a Bitcoin in the United States for $10,000 and sell it for $15,000 in Korea. However, there were complications. Laws were strict, and it was difficult to discharge a large sum of money. As a result, he finally relocated to Japan. Japan has a lesser charge at 15%, but he could move a lot more money there. As a consequence, he was able to earn literally 10% per work day, which is really amazing. So in a nutshell, arbitrage means benefiting on price discrepancies in the same item. But the full title is Spot Futures Arbitrage Bots. So what exactly are Spot Futures Arbitrage Bots? It refers to the markets in which you have invested with this bot. When you buy one of these bots, you're essentially purchasing 2 assets, a spot position and a futures position. The spot position is identical to a standard purchase. A spot position, also known as long position, is when you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin outright. A futures position, on the other hand, is a wager on an asset's future price. A long or short futures position is possible. A long futures position is similar to a spot trade-in, that it is a gamble on future price increases. A short position is a wager that prices will fall in the future. If the price of a short position falls, you profit. When you invest in one of these bots, your money is split between spot and short positions in the market, and the result is fascinating. When you do this, it's quite difficult to lose money. Let's pretend you put $1,000 into one of these bots. $500 would be comparable to an ordinary purchase, a wager that prices will rise. $500 would be a risky wager, as it is based on the assumption that prices will fall. As a consequence, the size of your investment doesn't vary significantly, since if prices rise, your long position gains money. If they fall, your short position wins money, which means your $1,000 stays the same. You're probably wondering how you're going to earn money if you're betting both with and against the market. It may sound like something only a lunatic would do, but that's where arbitrage comes in. So let's put the puzzle together. Futures arbitrage bot on the spot. We understand that spot and futures are the sorts of purchases we're making and that we're wagering both for and against the market. We all know that arbitrage profits from pricing discrepancies. And a bot, of course, is software that does everything for us. So we don't have to sit at the computer all day like a hermit watching things. So what exactly is an arbitrage? When it comes to profit, where does it originate from? This is due to something known as the funding fee, sometimes known as the funding rate. This is a charge paid to holders to guarantee that market values are as accurate as possible. The trouble is, in typical future markets, there is an expiration date, which means you may acquire a futures position betting on an asset's future price. However, that status would finally come to an end. The reason for this is that prices may quickly spiral out of control. Market purchase and sell forces can cause the spot and future prices of an item to diverge dramatically over time. An expiry date acts as a reset button, bringing pricing back into line. However, there's a catch. If investors wish to keep their holdings, they must regularly renew their contracts. Perpetual contracts were established to address this issue. Future contracts that never expire. But since they never expire, a means to maintain prices in line between the ordinary market and the future market was required. They should be around the same price. It's best to see this as a balanced scale. On one side, you have long positions, and on the other, you have short positions. When one side of the pricing decreases too much, a fundraising charge is strewn on top to entice investors to go over to the other side, and the cost of this finance might be rather considerable. In large bull runs, you may receive as high as 1% every day. Here's an example of a 0.4% financing charge that occurs every 8 hours. To put it another way, if you had $10,000 to invest, you could make $120 every day, almost risk-free. That's because the beauty of these bots is that they're completely market agnostic. You don't profit or lose money regardless of the market's direction, but you do get paid a financing fee. Now, earning 1% per day isn't typical, but 15% to 50% APR is pretty regular. Intermission is required immediately, so my bots have been up and running for about a week, and I've run into a problem. The crypto markets have been tumbling, with big cryptos losing 30 to 50% of their value, which was put a kink in my strategy. Now, I believe it's critical to be open and honest about how much money I've made so far. The bots are shown below. The good news is that all of them, with the exception of Doge, are positive. However, I'm only out around $1 with Doge, so I only made $4.06 on $9,706 in the previous week. This equates to a 2.2% annual percentage rate, which isn't great. Now, I'm not upset about it, since if I had just held those 5 cryptos outright for the last week, I would have lost almost $1,700. So I'll take making $4 over losing $1,700 a day. However, this emphasizes the necessity for a fresh strategy. And this raises the issue of why this happened in the first place. I was under the impression that these bots were market neutral. Allow me to explain. So keep in mind the balancing scale between long and short sellers. Because cryptos are now plummeting, many more investors are selling short, wagering that the market will continue to fall, tilting the scales and temporarily lowering the financing charge. Looking at my bots again, you can see that the funding fee is currently negative, which is unusual. This only happens around 10% of the time, according to Pionex documentation. Now, it's not the end of the world, since even if the charge is a little negative, I still make money. Regrettably, the attitude has a significant influence on funding rates. A piece of data from Binance shows that financing rates rise and fall in tandem with the price of Bitcoin, which makes perfect sense when you think about it, because financing rates are a market equalizer. They're most needed when there's a lot of demand on one side, and the balancing scales need to be balanced. As a result, I'm gonna turn off my aggressive bots and put all of that money into the moderate bot. The reason for this is that rates in the moderate bot are now higher. It's also worth noting that the funding rates displayed are paid out every 8 hours. In comparison to most things in crypto, spot trade arbitrage bots are now quite a low risk. However, this does not imply that there is no risk. The moderate bot, in particular, comes as near to zero risk as you can get. The only thing that comes to mind is some sort of API issue or a fault in the code that may create issues. This, however, has an extremely low chance of happening. Because you're taking on leverage with aggressive bots, there's a little increase in danger. This implies that there's a potential you'll be liquidated if the price of your crypto drops dramatically for some black swan cause and the bot fails to rebalance the position. Pionex, on the other hand, has an insurance fund, which I appreciate. Pionex charges 10% of its income for running these bots in rare cases, but half of it goes to their SAFU fund. Basically, this fund is set up in the event of a catastrophic disaster. The experiment's findings have been released. I was already on the right track after the first day, profiting $2.5, which may not sound impressive, but it's equivalent to a 9% annualized return, higher than the S&P 500 with virtually no volatility risk. After that, the market continued to fall and rates fell marginally. The entire profit after 10 days was $15, or roughly 5.5% annualized return. As a result, I'm ecstatic that I gained money during a down market. And I'm even more delighted because when the market recovers, I'll be able to earn significantly more than 5% APY. That's because a buddy of mine who introduced me to these bots averaged a 27% APY on this sort of bot over 400 days. So in a bad market, it may take as much as $600,000 to profit at $100 per day. But with a 27% APY, it would need more like $135,000 invested over time. This may be scaled down to any investment size. According to these figures, all you need to generate a $1 profit every day is $1,350 invested. Once again, this is the Altcoin Bull channel, bringing you the best and most updated news and trends in the crypto world. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you and see you in the next one.